The long-distance love I never expected. Sometimes life has a funny way of throwing you into situations you never expected. We think we know what we want, what we need, and then suddenly, everything shifts. That's how it was for me when I met him. I had never considered long-distance love. I had always thought it was too difficult, too complicated. But then, I met someone who made me realize that love doesn't follow the rules we set for it. We met by chance, through a friend of a friend. It wasn't anything special at first. Just another casual conversation. Another face in a crowd of people. But there was something about him. The way he spoke. The way he made me laugh. The way he seemed to understand me in a way no one else had. There was an instant connection. Something that felt different than anything I had ever experienced before. But then reality hit. He lived in another city, hours away from me, with his own life, his own responsibilities. At first, I didn't think it would work. Long-distance relationships had always seemed like a distant dream, something for other people, but not for me. I had always believed that love needed to be in the same place, at the same time, with shared experiences and physical closeness. But he made me rethink all of that. We started talking more, texting, calling, video chatting whenever we could. And the more we talked, the more I realized that distance wasn't as big of a barrier as I had imagined. It wasn't about being physically close all the time. It was about the emotional connection, the trust, and the effort we were both willing to put in. And slowly I started to believe that maybe this could work, even though we were miles apart. The distance wasn't easy. There were times when I missed him so much it hurt. Times when I wished I could reach through the phone and feel his presence beside me. There were moments when it felt like we were drifting apart, when the silence between us felt louder than the words we shared. But even in those moments, I knew that we were both committed to making it work. We found ways to stay connected, even when we couldn't be physically together. We sent thoughtful texts, planned virtual dates, and held on to the little moments that made us feel close. What I learned from this long-distance love is that love isn't about proximity. It's about effort. It's about making the time, even when life is busy, to show up for the person you care about. It's about finding ways to stay connected, even when you're not in the same place. To make them feel loved and valued no matter the distance. It's about trusting that no matter how far apart you are, the love you share is strong enough to withstand the time and space between you. And slowly, over time, the distance became less of a challenge and more of an opportunity. An opportunity to truly appreciate each other, to cherish the moments we did get to share, and to grow together even when we couldn't physically be together. We learned to communicate in new ways, to be patient with each other, and to appreciate the small moments we had. And eventually, after what felt like both an eternity and a heartbeat, I found myself in his city. It wasn't the grand reunion I had imagined. It wasn't the dramatic meeting at the airport, or the overwhelming rush of emotion. But it was perfect, in its own way. It was quiet, simple, and so full of meaning. We walked through the city together, hand in hand, like we had been doing it for years, even though we had just finally met in person. Looking back, I realize now that long-distance love isn't just about surviving the distance. It's about thriving in it. It's about finding ways to connect and to grow, even when circumstances aren't ideal. It's about choosing each other every day, even when the physical world doesn't allow it. And when the distance finally closed, when we were finally in the same place, it was as if the love we had built from afar had only made us stronger. The long-distance love I never expected became one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. It taught me that love doesn't have to be conventional to be real. And sometimes, the greatest love stories are the ones that prove you wrong about everything you thought you knew. I am Lucy, and this is Unsaid Love.